Matt and I had a wild Saturday at Wrigley, but the Cubs somehow lost 2 of 3 to the Cincinnati Reds. Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. I actually got that paragraph from Locked On Mavs, who's humming right now. Today's episode is presented by Supply House. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. Cubs lost their 6th straight series as they dropped 2 out of 3 over the weekend to the Reds at Wrigley Field. 5-4 loss Friday, 7-5 win Saturday, and 5-2 loss Sunday. Cubs are now 29-31 on the season. They are 12-22 since April 27th. Sam, it was a rain-filled weekend at Wrigley, especially on Saturday. We're going to get to that later in the show, as well as recapping a great event, certainly a unique Saturday that we had in Wrigleyville with RanterFest. Also, an old friend returns, and a certain lefty starter may be back as soon as this Friday. First thoughts on Cubs-Reds and another series loss.
The Cubs haven't won back-to-back games since I pitched a 5-inning, rain-shortened, complete game shutout for the Buffalo Grove Bulldogs when I was 12 years old. It's been rough. What do you want me to say about this series, Matt? You know what I'm going to say. We've done
it's the same points. We've done
6,842 shows together. You know what I'm going to say. The series was lost Friday afternoon. It was a game.
And they actually had a lead for once in that game.
They were up 2-0. They had a chance to break the game open a couple times. Couldn't do it. Morel, look, I've tried to sell everybody on it too. Bad luck, good trends. At some point, the results got to come, my friend. You're one of the worst defensive, if not the worst defensive third baseman in all the land, according to the metrics, and you're batting a cool 197. You need to start helping this baseball team. I don't care, luck, rainbows, pot of gold, whatever it is that you need. You need to start hitting and hitting soon because you're hurting this baseball team on a daily basis. At the end of that ball game, Nick Madrigal got hit by a pitch. First of all, why Nick Madrigal was in that spot, I'll never know. I have a better chance at cracking Da Vinci's code. But he was clearly hit by a pitch. I think the guy's name is Brandon Miller, the umpire that day. He was atrocious and one-sided. I'm going to say it one more time because it deserves. He was atrocious and one-sided and decided to get cute. They couldn't overturn it. Probably cost the Cubs the game. And then Willie Harris, if that didn't cost the Cubs the game, with a terrible send of the slow-footed Madrigal, he was thrown out at home, and that was the last contribution he might make as a Chicago Cub. I like to save Saturday's game for later for the third segment because it was kind of wild. I was at that game, believe it or not. That was just a really wild evening. And then Sunday, I thought Ben Brown just made like 2 mistakes, and he paid for them. An 0-2 mistake to TJ Friedl. All the runs, then that 4-run second, were 0-2 pitches. 0-2 mistakes, which has been a trend for the Cubs. I don't think the Cubs as an organization really believe in the waste pitch, and sometimes they get burned by it. But the 0-2 pitch to Friedl wasn't supposed to be there. It was a mistake, and he took advantage of it. They lost by 3. That was the difference in the game. I thought the big stat that I archived from Sunday's game was after the 4th inning of that game when the Cubs still had 0 runs. Yep. They were on a stretch of 33 2/3 innings against left-handed starters where they had scored 1 earned run. That 1 earned run was against Max Fried when he threw a complete game. It was Chris Sale, Bailey Falter, Max Fried, the lefty Gosser from Milwaukee, and then Lodolo. So whatever Craig's, whip it up for his left-handed lineups, kind of like what David Ross did, where it's just literally all righties and Bellinger, it ain't working. Cubs lose 2 out of 3 to a bad baseball team. They are now 7-12 in the National League Central this year. That might sound like a small sample size. It's almost half the games. You only
No, that's almost
yeah,
20 games.
yeah. You play almost 48 to 50 only
Yeah.
now against a Central. So that's a large portion of that. That's not a good trend. If you're looking for something to hang and cling on to, the offense is starting to show signs. Ian Happ's starting to show signs. Suzuki's starting to show signs. Swanson had his first major hit since probably August of 2023 on Saturday night. Who else? Bellinger had a good game on Sunday, so maybe they could break out against the Sox. But
sure.
that's all I got.
Yeah, well, there was even though as you described it's still more than I even realized or care to admit, because I really do have a lot of the same takeaways, especially from the weekend that I have really the last 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
You have good starting pitching that takes place. You would have liked to have seen Assad be more efficient on Friday. You have Steele at times just pouring rain, still making good pitches, and he was a product of just a colossal error by Suzuki, who later made up for with a grand slam. But
still a really bad error.
The Fox actually erased their score bug because it was that routine. The ball was in the air. They were going to break, and he dropped the ball.
Matt, it's a ball that you or I probably catch 7 out of 10 times with our bare hands.
Yeah. Even in a night game like that.
Even in the rain. Adam Wainwright says, you have no idea how hard that play is. Please, I was sitting in the bleachers. No. I saw the ball the whole way.
Yeah.
I could have caught it with my hat.
I wonder why the Cubs don't believe in the waste pitch, because Ben Brown, I thought he was going to get out of that inning with just 1 run. He was going to do a great job, get out of that thing. It was bases loaded, no outs.
Yep.
You could exit that inning down 1-0. It's just a massive win. And then you blink and he gets 0-2 to Friedel. And yeah, the curveball was just right over the heart of the plate, and that proved to be the biggest hit of the game. Other takeaways for me, Sam: base running mistakes. This team leads the planet in outs on the bases.
Can I pause you right there? Can I press pause for 1 second? It's a really important thing to say.
That's horrible.
This team doesn't have a superstar player like the Yankees do, like the Dodgers do, like the Phillies do, right, like the Braves do. You have to be good at the margin controllable stuff. Yep. Defense, base running, things like that. And they are not bad at those things. They are awful.
They're the worst in the sport at them.
And I thought Craig Counsell was going to come in here and clean that up. And it has been the absolute antithesis of that. And somebody, and it probably has to be him, has to be accountable for the sloppy play. The defense and base running, more so than the inconsistent offense, has been so incredibly disappointing and hard to watch. Continue.
Yeah, I think aside from a mistake here or there, as they build up consecutively, I think it's totally fair to pin that, or at least begin a discussion on the $8 million man in Counsell.
But what is he doing?
I don't know.
Great try, Dansby. You got picked off a third. I mean, consequences.
Yeah. Let's see. No bunts or hit and runs this weekend. There's just no one's in motion ever. There's no activity.
Well, and you're not allowed to bunt anymore, except for some reason the 42-win Phillies just did on Sunday Night Baseball back-to-back times. So,
yeah. Aside from the Suzuki Grand Slam and Swanson go-ahead homer, which were both on Saturday, I think there's still the lack of the big hit. I think we saw that Friday and Sunday many times.
Yeah, Suzuki, ironically, 3 days in a row was the one that got it. It didn't work on – they lost on Thursday after he got it. They lost on Friday because Madrigal got thrown out, and then Saturday. But, yeah, lack of a big hit. the clutchness. I thought the double play was really big this weekend, and Morrell hit into 2 big
On
ones
Friday, especially, right?
Friday, and then he hit a big one on Sunday.
Yeah.
If you want to spin something positively, I'm really starting to see some things from PCA. I know the results haven't been there,
Absolutely.
but like when I was at the game Saturday, the ball to the track, he looks comfortable up there. I'm kind of kind of excited about what he's bringing to the table. I don't really
Absolutely.
want
I'm
to talk
excited
about
too.
David Bote later, but I guess we have to.
I'm excited about PCA as well.
Yeah.
And I think they should move him up this week.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What
Cubs.
what do you do with the Bush thing? Because Bush has actually been
Yeah, it's
showing
good.
he's been showing signs. His OPS is back to up to a very respectable 784.
Sure.
And you have for people that are confused at what I'm asking, if PCA plays center, Bellinger's most likely playing first, which takes away Bush's ABs because then you have Suzuki in right or DH,
Yeah.
Happ in left, and then
Talkman.
Talkman.
Yeah.
So who loses the ABs there? Is it going to be Bush? What are they going to do? Are they just going to rotate?
Yeah. So through this weekend, Mike Talkman against righties has started and led off like the last 17 games against righties.
Yep.
So to me, Council really values his presence at the top of the order. And so I thought it really did come down to Happ, Suzuki, and Bush to get their PAs, decreased based on PCA now basically taking over in center, at least against righties. But as I'm beginning this new week, Sam, I think it's going to be a Bush versus Talkman debate for Council.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think Happ and Suzuki are going to be where they're at.
Well, yeah, especially because of the paycheck.
And the last 10 games they've been better. So,
Yep.
And Talkman hasn't, by the way.
Yeah, he's been cold.
So I think it's a Bush or Talkman thing. And starting Tuesday night against Flexen, they should DH Bush.
Yeah.
They should DH him, and they should create a new lineup against righties again.
They should
at
lead
least
off
at the top. Maybe Happ goes back to lead off.
Maybe they lead off Ricky Henderson. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well,
is that who's pitching Tuesday? Flexen?
Yeah. So of course we have an off day Monday, which we'll preview that for Tuesday.
I'm sure the Sox found a way to get Fetty in there for Wednesday.
2 against the Sox, 4 at the Reds this week. It is going to be Fetty on Wednesday against Jameson Taillon.
So they're going to split against the Sox.
Fetty, which not saying much, but Fetty is probably going to the All-Star game right now for the Sox.
Him or Crochet?
He would be the representative. Oh, yeah, Crochet. Right. Yeah. Next 22 games for the Cubs are against teams under the 500 mark. 22 games.
Well, you could say the last 25 because they just had 3 against the Reds and they're 1-2.
Absolutely, and they play the Reds again this week. 4 games in Great American Ballpark this week. That's going to be
another split.
Annoying. All right, so
at some point you got
6 straight series losses, and the Cubs are 29-31.
Oof.
And they are 7.5 out of first place in the NL Central.
Wow.
We're only a week removed from Memorial Day, and they're 7.5 out. That is 3 series worth of games. 3.
And that's that. And just in case you didn't know, we got the manager from there. And I thought that was. I thought not only were the Cubs going to be better, I thought the Brewers were done. And I couldn't have been more wrong. They look like they could win 92 games if they were being managed by La Russa.
Well, that might be the only guy who's on his own island. David Bote is back. Jordan Wicks might be back soon. Let's get to news and notes next. Today's episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade, supplyhouse.com. Supply House is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support, industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining Supply House's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks. That's supplyhouse.com. The Cubs play the White Sox at 7:05 p.m. Central Tuesday. You can hear every pitch of the Cubs' hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. All right, so David Bote, Sam, was recalled from AAA on Sunday, while Nick Madrigal was sent down. Adbert Alzolay transferred to the 60-day IL to make room for Bote on the 40-man roster. Bote will now be the backup third baseman, although Sunday's lineup could be a preview in that, at least for a period of time. Sam, Bote will start at third against lefties, with Christopher Morel starting at DH those days. So Madrigal, we've determined, I think, not really a major leaguer right now, but I'm not so sure Bote is either.
Well, it sounds like David Bote is going to get, like you just said, it feels like he's going to get starts against lefties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's David Bote's career numbers against lefties: 209, 302, 387, 689 OPS. Upgrade from Nick Madrigal, yes. Something that I think is going to change things, no. Maybe an exciting story, yes. Something that's really going to significantly impact winning or losing, no. What needs to happen to impact winning and losing is for the main guys on this team to continue to show signs, to clean up their defense as a team, to clean up their base running as a team, and for their bullpen, for somebody to remind the bullpen that when they come in, it's not a mid-July home run derby. They're supposed to try and keep the ball in the ballpark. Those things, if they could do those things, it's a short list. Base run better, hit better, field better, and pitch better out of the bullpen and not give up home runs. It'll be just dandy.
Yeah, and I didn't think Bote was even on the radar, much less to be a starter.
Yeah, versus lefties.
It's I don't know if surprise is the right word, because I think Madrigal was bound to be sent down soon. But yeah, it's been such a long time we've actually seen Bote. I mean, shoot, the hit that he's known for was 6 seasons ago.
Oh yeah.
That's a long time.
Crazy. But can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can we move on?
Okay.
You know what I mean? With both, it's just like it's. You want to hear something before you give me a Wicks update? I'm with a lot of updates.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? And I'm only telling you this because I know you can't stand this.
Right.
If the Cardinals get beat tonight against the Phillies, it's tied late. Your Chicago Cubs will be tied for a playoff spot when you wake up Monday morning.
Really? I thought they were a couple games behind the Padres.
They are, but there's 3 wild card spots. They're currently tied with the Giants at 29 and 31 for that last wild card spot.
Oh, okay. Got it. My apologies. I know the Fathers are playing better recently.
Well, the Padres probably are a more talented team than our club. Is that fair to say?
Did you know there's only 5 NL teams that are over 500?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a disaster.
And they're also the only 5 that have a plus run differential.
Yep. That was us.
Oh, so the Cubs are in the playoffs if the season ended today.
Assuming the Cardinals get beat, yeah, they'd be tied with the Giants. But yeah. So.
I see. Well,
yeah.
Who's going to start the first game of that series? Would that be Imanaga or?
I think as of right now, it'd be Imanaga, but by the end of the year, maybe Steele takes.
Got it. So Jordan Wicks made his third rehab start for AAA Iowa on Sunday, going 3 1/3 on 65 pitches for the I Cubs. his next start, if we follow the Tyone Steele patterns, could be this weekend for the Major League Cubs. Tyone and Steele both threw about 65 in their last rehab outing. So I think Wicks is coming back this week, which means not necessarily the right move, but the right move for this team in this moment in time, I think, is going to be to push Ben Brown to the bullpen, which is still a place where the Cubs are so thin.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to see Wicks out there again.
It just stinks that Ben Brown his development has to be a victim of the Cubs' incompetence in their bullpen, because I don't think I think
a great way to say it.
I think Ben Brown should still be starting, even though he had a little bit of a rough one Sunday. He looks crisp. He looks good. I really look for. There's not a lot I look forward to watching with this team. I thought Sunday's game could have been a banner example of you don't need sleep medication. Just watch this. I really look forward to Ben Brown every fifth day.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a shame to see him go to the bullpen. Let them. He's a starter right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, he keeps going from role to role. And then Daniel Palencia pitched a perfect inning Sunday on only 9 pitches. He's technically on a rehab appearance because he's on the IL. Velo is sitting, not average, but sitting at 98-99 and topping out at 101. But we've seen this movie before with these young guys, especially Palencia. And again, also with the bullpen, Sam, Julian Merriweather is going to be out until after the All-Star break. Yency Almonte, no updates that are positive. And Alzolay, to put Bote on the team, got transferred to the 60-day IL. So you don't have to be a mathematician to know that he's not going to be back this month either. So that's the news and notes.
The Merriweather thing's not being talked about enough. They were relying on him to be one of the main guys, and then when Merriweather went down, Almonte started to slowly trickle his way to one of the main guys, and they're missing both of them, and it's a big loss. But what can you do? Coming up next, we're going to talk about Saturday afternoons and Saturday night. Matt and I had a really fun time and kind of a wild time, and we're excited to share it with you, Matt. First, this episode is going to be brought to you by Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. I love it. Right. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app. It's the easiest and most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and then watch the winnings roll in. I'm telling you what I'm doing. PCA, more stolen bases. He is the only threat that we have on the bases consistently. He's one of the fastest players in the league, and he's flying around the bases trying to spark this boring Cubs team. Baseball season has been officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry. Prize Picks is really simple to play, with your entries taking just less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Locked On MLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by using code Locked On MLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app.
This past Saturday was such a great time at RanterFest. Certainly not your average Saturday. Very unique event. It was all Cubs all the time. Danny Rocket, host of the San Ranto Show, which is the longest running Cubs podcast since 2013, before most people even knew what a podcast was, really. Danny invited all the Cubs blogs and podcasts, and there was a fabulous turnout at Almost Home in Wrigleyville. And Sam, our first shout out before we break down the event and then just our Saturdays is actually someone not in the Cubs blog and podcast space, but someone who is a huge supporter of this show and both of us personally, and that is Bernie Barron, who is an everydayer to this program. Fabulous to see Bernie, who gave Sam a Mike Talkman signed jersey that she had won about 10 minutes before.
Yep.
And Bernie's just a bundle of joy. We really appreciate her support. And Also, shout out to Danny, to Crawley, Bleacher Jeff. We met Michael Cerami from Bleacher Nation, Jeremy and Pat, the Wrigleyville Nation guys, Stu from Club 400, and Miguel Esparza, Sam, who is the Spanish language play-by-play man for the Cubs. What hospitality that he had. Said that him and his crew listened to our program, and then Kyle Stanley as well, who you could find his channel, The Setup Man, on YouTube. Great to spend time with him and his family. So all around great day.
Yeah, Bernie hooked me up with that jersey. I'm the only reason I don't have it on me is I'm trying to figure out a way to get it up here. It's very cool.
Really?
Yeah, very authentic.
Fun.
Yeah, the fest was awesome. I got a chance to go up there and do a little bit.
That's right.
That was cool. Really cool people, nice people. Great to be in a room, with everybody that shares the same passion as we do. I want to get to Saturday night. So
yeah, what did you do during the rain delay?
So Saturday night was one of my good friends. Shout out to Victoria, whatever she wants to go by for the show. Nick's my best friend is Nick's soon to be wife, fiance. Yeah. And so we usually go to a Cub game every year for her birthday. And so
Cubs.
I was lukewarm on going to this one, after the show, just, for a few reasons. And I was like, all right, I'm here. The weather was the big one. And I was like, the weather's clearing up, it says it's going to be out of here by 6. And then it was going to be out of here by 7, a short delay. Then it was going to be out of here by 8. And then I couldn't believe it. I'm like, all right, well, they're just going to postpone it. But Nick's a serious diehard, and V is a serious diehard, to her credit. Like, she doesn't, we're there. We're going to watch the baseball game. And so we were with a group of friends as well, and they were like, all right, enough's enough. They took off about 9. And then we get the announcement that the ball game's going to start at 9:35. So we sat through a 3.5-hour rain delay. All I did was just stand in a corner, eat a little bit, drink a bit, just wait. And then this is when it got really wild. We take our bleacher seats, and the rain starts to come down harder than it had the previous 2-3 hours. So I'm standing there for a 2 games under 500 team that I talk about every gosh darn day in the pouring rain on a Saturday night. And I looked up to the heavens and said to myself, wait, what do I have to do? Can they just start, playing well? We're sitting there, and then Suzuki drops the ball.
Right.
And I have a complete panic attack. And V bumps me. She goes, will you relax? He's going to hit a grand slam right here. I said, stop. Enough. I said, enough with the positivity and all. How she goes, he's going to hit a grand slam. He's going to make up for it right here. And he hits a grand slam. And even though this was a terrible Cubs baseball weekend, that inning sequence where he dropped the ball for 4 runs and then came back and hit a grand slam might be one of the most wildest things I've seen in person in the middle of a rainstorm. Why aren't you and I meteorologists? Like, what do you have to do to be qualified? How could they mess up the forecast that bad? Do you hear it? I'm nasally, by the way, from all the rain.
Oh, wow. It came back.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. People say it's a myth. I don't buy it. It's going to be out of here by 6. We're going to be good on time. 7, 8. It didn't stop raining till 11 p.m.
11, yeah. So did you buy a poncho or something? Like, how did you stay dry?
Nick brought me like a raincoat.
Okay, that's good.
So I wore that during the game. And if you look closely on Suzuki's homer and you look a little to your right, you could see us going crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you zoom in. And zoom in a lot. I look like I'm like 5'1". So
all right, off day. Yeah,
met a couple nice people at the game. I like to give a shout out to like all the ticket people, the Cubs ticket people. A lot of
listeners.
Yeah, Cyrus. Like, there's a lot of really cool like workers.
Employees that's right, there. Cyrus at RanterFest.
Well, and then I saw him at
Stan.
I saw Cyrus also at the game and talked to him for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Gallagher Way, which is just, to me, I don't understand the value of that place. It's not really anything for me. And then a couple of the ticket guys came up to us.
Yep.
So shout out to them. They listen to work. Those guys work hard, man.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
Guys and gals.
Off day Monday, 2 White Sox, 4 Reds this week. Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube as we make the push to 10,000 subs. Smash the like button for the algorithm and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.